10 a.m. on October 15th. Call the Monongalia County Commission meeting to order. Ask that you please stand for a moment of silent meditation. Remain standing for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Diane?
Today for consent approval, we have 7 exonerations, $2,030.14 for tax years 2013-14. Fiduciary matters, orders of October 15, and quarterly status reports from George Armstead, Linda Crane, and Cynthia Stafford. Minutes of September 24. General County Fund vouchers, $262,010.36. Coal Severance Fund, $22,794.52. Kent Monthly, $2,266.01. Chestnut Ridge Park, $3,459.35. Magistrate Court Fund, $1,440. Total of $291,970.24.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion for approval and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then
She's got a stack up.
Yeah. If it's blue, no, I think it's black.
Here's a blue.
Just have some items for reimbursement today. First is the report center for September 2014, $16,638.83. Click it or ticket program with the Governor's Highway Safety for September 2014, $131.48. DUI for the Governor's Highway Safety Program for September 2014, $7,612.11. The VOCA grant for September 2014, $4,075.95. And the Emergency Solutions Grant Program for RDVIC and Carriages House for a grand total of $3,101.42. That's all I have.
Move to approve the reimbursements.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Is my pen put ready?
Oh, what'd I do? Did I not use your pen?
No, that's okay.
You should have told me.
I
Caught me in
didn't
the
realize
act.
the time we were already at time.
Black copy's better. Representative Sports Marketing.
I thought they were.
They're visible.
Yeah, they're invisible. No, I'm waiting to hear from them. But as you're aware, they announced the 10 names, and they wanted to make it very clear they had not decided yet on the first part of the name. They were just going to use the second part of the name. And the voting goes until Friday, and then they will take the top 3 and submit them to the Rich organization, where they will make a decision. And I thought they were coming, but I guess we're still counting the votes at this time. But the voting goes still till Friday, so please get your vote in.
I hope we have that kind of turnout November the 4th.
I can't help but speak about it because I was kind of shocked at some of the list on there. Canary, I fully understand, being from a coal mining family going back from when they came from Poland and Ireland. That's what we were.
Right.
So I understand the Canary. And Musket, I understand the Musket, being born and raised in West Virginia and all, but I have a problem when a nickname has to have a dissertation attached to it to explain why that name is there. That was 2 that I thought was sort of out there. Although I like both of them, you'd have to explain it to younger people. The other one, that bothered me the most, which is actually prompts me to speak to this, was moonshine. That's awful. Now, if you're a young fraternity guy or something like that, you probably think it's cute and funny. But if you've traveled like I have throughout the United States and Canada, and say you're from West Virginia, you're always called that, and it's not meant nice. It's a derogatory term. You're a hick, you're a hillbilly, and of course you're a moonshiner. You bring me any moonshine? I heard that all over. And I know for one thing, I would never put a T-shirt on my grandson that said anything like moonshiner. So that I feel that I have to comment on it because I just feel that some of the people in Pittsburgh actually called me a moonshiner. So we're trying to create a relationship with Pittsburgh. So to adopt that name, it sort of shocked me, sort of set me back because I had family and relatives when I grew up. Lived in Pittsburgh, used to travel there a lot, and I used to always be criticized for being a hick and a hillbilly and a moonshiner.
Yeah, I'm shocked, and that's not one of the names I would choose, but I believe that probably they must have been surprised about the number of people who may have put that. And that's probably why,
Well, that could be.
because they were putting the larger numbers and then see, because I was surprised with some of the names. No, hopefully, whatever team it is, and I know, we'll get behind it, but I do hope that of all the names, that's the one that I choose not to see.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's why I chose to speak about it,
Yeah.
because now's the time to say what our objections are, not
Yes.
after the fact. So.
Exactly. And I'll make sure that is, I believe they've already realized that, but I'll make sure that they're, I don't know what it will do, because again, I want to be real clear, none of us are involved with this in the sense.
Right, it's not ours.
And it's,
decision.
but we will support the team and move forward. And the other thing that I did want to get clear, I know there's a lot of confusion again. There are no state tax dollars, because I've received several questions that are going to this stadium. And at the same time, it's a stadium that's going to be used by the community for a number of events. And whether the baseball team is a family event, which is what we're trying to do, it's going to be cost effective. And I just believe there's a lot of confusion that people think that we're taking the tax dollars that should go to the roads to the stadium. And I want to be real clear, it's a TIF district and it's money that the Monongalia County residents have said, we want to keep our money here and not go back to the state. And it's extra money that was developed from it. And if you want to say anything more, but I do want to clear that up because there seems to be some confusion again on that.
Well, it's a nice little soundbite to say that,
Yeah.
and it's not true. And you're absolutely right. The other thing they need to keep in mind too, at the conclusion of this TIF district, the increase in revenue to the state will be astronomical,
Right.
and it won't increase arithmetically. It will increase much faster than that. So that's important to point that out. And I would add that the increase will be astronomical when the TIF district is completed.
Thank you.
Let's see, executive session.
Well, we can do all our business first and do that also.
Okay. Announcement of public hearing for City of Morgantown TIF.
Yeah, they just sent us a copy of the public notice that's going to be appearing. The public hearing is going to be Tuesday, October 21st at 7 p.m. And this is regarding the proposed tax increment financing project of the
So
city.
we have no role in that TIF, do we?
No.
No.
We just have to announce it.
Just knowing that.
Okay.
No,
They-
that's just a courtesy.
Public information.
Yeah, okay.
I have approval of invoices from the Star City TIF. CTO Engineering, $11,990.50, and the Dominion Post, $383.88. $12,374.38. These will come through their TIF funds.
Move to approve the TIF fund reimbursement.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And since we're approving payments, I have two requisitions for payment from the property tax bonds. Bobby's been working with Brian Gallagher and Tom Ammons on these. Requisition number 2 is for $310,000, and this goes to, what,
That's not on purpose.
that's not,
Yes.
Wichita Utility Board for water line extension and fire service. And the second one is, there's also an agreement that goes with that. Second one is payment number 3, and this is $1,340,000, and this goes to the Scottsdale Public Service District.
This was just announced, I thought we approved this last week.
Okay, we did the water line, but I'm bringing the sewer line today, and that's a 1.34.
Oh,
And
I remember
Love
seeing
was
that.
supposed to approve it last night. And
Did they?
yes, I think they approved both of them. And now, as all they're waiting on is for commission to approve the sewer line, which the sewer line, like she said, 1,340,000. And that is the lowest bidder going to Snyder Environmental, same one that has the water.
Okay.
And their bid was $1,077,020.20, and then MUB's soft cost was $260,000, so that come out to $1,340,000. So is all they need is a commission to make a motion and approve it, so that way we've approved both the water and the sewer, and we can keep everything on schedule.
I move that we approve the water and the sewer.
I'll second that, but I got a question,
Yes, sir.
just for clarity. What's soft cost?
Soft cost comes out to be
No, I mean,
What
what
is
does it cover?
inspection cost, design cost, administration cost, surveying and testing, legal cost, and there's a $80,000 to a sheets pump station upgrade. And then there's a MUB construction cost of SCADA, I'm not sure what that is, and that's $75,000. But it comes out to 260.
Do we want to approve it and just hold off on that SA date so we get
No,
clarification?
I-
Just approve or ask something?
I
It's
think
MUB.
we can go ahead, I think we can go ahead and prove it. I just wanted to
Okay.
know what the breakdown was on the
Sure.
soft cost.
Do you want to see this copy of this breakdown?
I'd love to see it, yeah.
This is the sewer, the one we just approved.
Right. Okay.
This is the contractor's cost, and then this is MUB's soft cost.
Soft cost, design cost 5%. Survey and testing. SCADA, I should know what that is. I can't remember. Okay. Thank you. I second it.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Unfinished business.
This is something that Commissioner Callen might want to address regarding pass-through for the lock funds.
Oh. Do we have it here?
What we'll have to do is increase the miscellaneous revenue in the amount of what we expect to bring in from other entities.
Oh, yes, we want, the Monongalia County Development Authority last week, voted to contribute $4,000 to the lock fund pass-through. And we're starting to get commitments from different entities. Both the Senate and House has represented that there may be some money forthcoming there, the various bass associations and other groups. And one of the things we need to do, I think, this is my suggestion, is that we should have a separate line item put into our budget to cover that pass-through amount, so that it didn't
Get lost.
disappear in the general fund. Not that it would disappear, I'm just saying that
Right.
it's just easier to read, for me anyway, when I look at the different budget numbers and stuff. If we have something that is pure pass-through for opening the locks and dams, then if we keep it separated, it doesn't interfere with general fund. You agree with that, Kelly?
Of course.
So what I would move is that we add, did you choose a line item or just the name of it?
01366 is miscellaneous revenue. Right now, we projected $50,000, and that's insurance claims and that kind of thing. We can add, are we expecting 40,000 for this?
We're expecting 40,000 because that's the, I've been working with Umbra for a number of years on this, as you all know. And the Corps of Engineers and everyone all up the line, over 2 years ago, they said this would never happen. Well, it's happened. And so now we're Umbra, and they asked me to participate, to sit down and negotiate the final agreement. But we, as the pass-through group, I would move that we adopt the separate line item, as Diane outlined there, to account for these funds that are contributed and going out.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And on the expenditure side, 01720 is dams and dredging. So I put that in that line, and that's where the
No, we
locks
thought,
and dams.
that's what the motion was, to
Yeah,
allow you to
but-
set it up the way
Yeah.
you deem proper.
New business. No new business? No new business?
Nope.
No new business?
Can't think of it right now.
Well, this is you know, I have some concerns about even bringing this out, but I just think this commission needs to be aware that there are issues being brought out in this election year that I have confronted as being false and will continue to confront as being false. So I just want to alert you to that we can discuss them if you have an interest in knowing what them are. You know, I think the Meet the Candidates, I think you can view that online, and there's going to be 2 talk shows with the candidates for county commission. One this Thursday and the other one the 28th, I believe. So that'll be, public will be able to access those as well as the commission. But it's just unfortunate that in an election year that you can't get someone that can run on their own merits, that have to try to attack the opposition. But I apologize to you two, because it seems like it's an attack on the commission and not just me. So, but I know you can handle it. But I just wanted to mention that for the sake of record. It's disappointing that exists, but it does.
Well, I agree, and I was kind of disheartened with the fact that Tom and I are getting attacked because we sat next to you.
Yeah.
And you know, I should stop there because I don't want to be accused of getting into political situation here as a commission, but this commission works extremely well together, and what we're trying to do, I think we've put a whole new face on the commission over the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm very proud of the accomplishment we make, and we've got a whole lot more that I want to get accomplished before they try to throw me out, which might probably be in 2 years. Every 6 years it comes up.
Well, to attack the credibility of this commission and its accomplishments is inexcusable as a campaign strategy. That's my feelings.
Oh, I'm gonna say, I'll change it a different way. I just wanna thank Mike from West TV, who we have requested from him that he would put some tape so that people could see not only the 51st District of House of Delegate election, but also your debate. There's no reason why the people cannot see and understand where the positions are, and I want to thank West TV personally, because you came through on this, and I think that people are able to see this when, if they're not able to come to a meeting or hear a radio program, they can turn it on their computer and go to it. So again, I want to thank you.
I guess I could bring this under new business. I was going to bring it up on the commissioner's report about the prosecuting attorney's response to the ordinance proposed by the Monongalia County Fire Companies Association. It's quite a detailed letter, and basically that it states in the shorthand, it states that they, as laymen often do, misinterpreted one section of the ordinance, of the statutes, a particular ordinance, and not read it in para materia, which is the Latin term with altogether, to understand how ordinance works together, and basically she points that out. Then she goes on to say that we could adopt a fire fee levy, and how to do that, but it would require us to totally revamp the fire, volunteer fire system, first by appointing a county fire board. That fire board would be a separate corporation and answerable to us, and all the volunteer fire departments would be answerable and under the supervision of the county fire board. So it's a very good letter. It addresses the issue in detail, and I would move that we send copies of this letter out to each of the volunteer fire departments and the fire association, also with an invite that they could, that we would love to sit down and talk with them some more about it. Now, I understand the fire association is having a meeting next Tuesday evening, that I would love to try to make it back to attend, but I don't know whether I will or not, because the Committee on Infrastructure is, Interim Senate Committee on Infrastructure is having a hearing on Monday morning, and they've, Senator Beach has asked me to come speak about our infrastructure needs here in the county.
Where do they have their meeting, this association meeting?
This next one on Tuesday will be at the Westover VFD.
Westover Fire Department, on this next Tuesday?
Yeah.
At what time?
7 p.m.
Well, they got a lot of steps.
Yeah.
All upstairs.
Oh, yeah, and they have no elevator.
They don't have it.
And then
I don't think it's handicap accessible.
then on Tuesday, with the commission's approval or permission, I'm supposed to meet with the governor of the state tax office again to deal with certain issues. So I'll probably end up spending the night down there. I always want your all's permission to do that.
We know that you'll represent Monongalia County in the best of fashion.
Thank you.
Since you brought it up, I would request if I could take, since it is complex, I mean the letter and so on, I'd like, to wait, give me some time to digest it, and then we could all bring it back and discuss it. So give me, if we could have several weeks to work on that, because it's such an important issue.
Well, one of the other things I just mentioned to you, because I'd been involved in some of their discussions at some of their association meetings, and
Right.
one of the things I think that they're gonna find is a disappointment to the interpretation is I believe that they're under the impression that they will appoint a fire board, that it can consist of their members, that they will have control of the revenue
They don't.
and who gets it. And I think when they realize that that's not going to be the case, and I think once control of the volunteer fire departments get in the hands of a fire board, it increases the chances of consolidation.
Right.
And that's something I think they need to consider, that there's cause and effects to this thing to want to pursue. And then there's issues I'm sure that she hasn't covered, but if it's a levy fee or if it's a levy on property taxes, there's two different things. I mean, if everybody's gonna be charged a service fee, fire service fee, as opposed to a levy fee, you've got the consideration of the municipalities, Morgantown primarily, that has a paid fire department, and whether or not they would be excluded. And if the volunteer fire departments in municipalities like Westover, Star City, Granville, if those municipalities could opt and say, we have fire protection, located in our city, and we asked to be excluded, would they be able to do that? So that, I mean, there's a lot more questions to be answered, and I think they just need to realize that it's not a simple, okay, you're gonna get more money.
That's so true. And you bring up a couple good points here. There is so much more to it in the fact that there are established fire districts that the county fire board establishes. Just because you're a volunteer fire department doesn't mean the county fire board has to recognize you if they don't think that you are providing the best service. They could exclude some of them, or like you said, force consolidation of some of them. County fire board, the way it's written and the way I read it, becomes the county's fire regulator, much like the state fire marshal. They regulate everything if you're going to tax. And another interesting thing that the county fire board can do is contract with the paid fire department. They can contract with the paid fire department to cover some districts. So like if Granville decides they want to have a paid fire department, and we decide it's in the county's best interest or the county fire board decides that it's in the county best interest to have them cover outside of the boundary, we can compensate that paid fire department to cover certain areas, just like Morgantown.
That would also apply to Morgantown. If the fire board wanted to contract with the city of Morgantown to say, okay, we want you to cover
Georgetown Road,
or even out in Cheat Lake area.
Right.
What kind of complications or conflicts would that cause with some of the volunteer fire departments? And I'll tell you, this is a very sensitive issue with volunteer firemen, and I just want to make sure that they know and are fully aware of all the effects of what we pursue, and have input, because whatever we do, we're all going to have to live with afterwards.
And you brought up the one issue that I was concerned about in my preliminary looking into the question you just brought up. Could the county opt out of a levy of a fire? And so far, everything I've received from the state and the city is no, they can't. So that changes a lot of the concept. So I want to try and get something in writing so we can get that clarification so we know. But from what I've been told, once it's a county levy, if it would become a county levy, it has to be county. And
Right.
that is a concern to the citizens of Morgantown.
Yeah, but there's a means by which you could contract for that difference.
Exactly.
I mean,
And that's what we have to look at.
It's complicated.
Yes.
I mean, and it always appears in political season, and it seems like Monongalia County's political season every year. But the reality is, it's easy to speak in sound bites and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's very difficult to understand the real processes and the protections that exist that you have to deal with. We have to make decisions every day to protect the citizens and the taxpayer, and to do the proper thing. So you love sound bites, but sound bites don't mean anything 99% of the time, especially if it's coming from someone that don't know what they're talking about.
Well, one of the other sensitive areas would be in terms of, and I don't know if the volunteer fire departments would express this, but I know that it would become an issue, is their appeal rights. The fire board said, no, we're not buying you a new fire truck.
No, you're gonna stay on that side of the road, you're not coming over here.
Or you need to reduce your number of volunteers, we're not buying that many new uniforms. Those kind of issues, the volunteer fire departments need to have some kind of recourse, or if they don't, they need to know really up front that, look, whatever the fire board says goes.
Well, it's a detailed letter, but it doesn't go into all those things, but
Right.
all those things are there.
Sure.
And they would have to be answered, and it would be part of the county commission process to both select the county fire board, but also control the county fire board, and I believe there is an appellate process where they can come to the county commission.
So do you want the letter sent?
I made a motion to send the letter. Is it all right to
Second.
send the letter?
Yeah.
You wanna delay sending it?
Oh, no, I don't mind sending the letter. No, what I'm saying is, before we discuss it, I think they should have the same information we have, and I think,
Oh, okay.
because we just, and I wanna get it clear, we just got this, we've been
Oh,
requesting
you
it.
want to try, you want to try to say that we could try to meet at a later date?
Yeah.
Other than Tuesday, because it's coming up.
Well, I mean, we're more than willing if you wanna go there, but I'm just saying, because we haven't, you brought up 5 or 6 major areas that we have to look at, I just don't wanna say that we're taking a stand or have a work session until we get
Well,
some.
that's what I was trying to say
Yeah.
when the second part of it, when I said I would like to invite interested parties come to a work session where we can actually have a sit down and talk about this letter and the kind of concepts.
But that's fine.
Maybe we could have a work session with the officers of the Volunteer Firemen Association.
That's fine.
That would be great.
Have the
Why don't
president.
we send this out with a letter stating that we would like to set something up and give them some dates and times. Yeah,
And to call Diane. Call Diane to figure it out.
yeah.
She always figures it out.
No, that's fine. I just want to say that the meeting, we haven't clarified because they may also bring up some questions that we haven't thought of. So that's what we need to
Well,
look at.
yeah, like I said,
It's more, this has added more questions than answers, but at least we got a direction.
you're right. Of course, I've studied it now for a week in my spare time, which is much. Yeah, it would be rather complex for people just to get it maybe the end of this week and have to talk about it next
Right.
Tuesday.
But we need-
I agree with that.
But at least send it, yeah, let's send it to them so they're at least aware of the situation. Okay, and I second that, so.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, it's past 10:30. We wanna go through this other stuff and then?
Yeah.
Okay, reports from elected officials, department heads, Diane, Bobby, Renetta, Jamie, assessor,
Yes, sir.
Mark, chief, Kelly.
Not today.
Okay, reports from county commissioner.
I've already spoken of today.
Yeah, I have one report. You all put me in on the Community Coalition of Homelessness, and yesterday I met with Rachel Cohen from the West Virginia Coalition to End Homelessness from the State Department, who oversees our projects and programs. And I should say I met with her and thankfully Renetta McClure, who was trying to explain a lot of it in English for me. And with your permission, I've asked Renetta to help me just set up a meeting to make sure that we stay on the forefront of the changes that are now being developed in what's called Project 2016. So we get all the parties together so we can work together to stay ahead. And what we have is we have some great organizations that are doing certain things, and we need to make sure under the new guidelines that everyone's working together and working with the resources. So with your permission, it's not really a motion, I would just like to have a meeting to
I
discuss
think you're
that.
the ideal commissioner to handle this situation, so I pat you on the back and praise you for your efforts.
Oh, and I fully support those comments.
And again, I do want to thank Renetta, who's been extremely helpful since she's been working with the grants and understood a lot of the labels and numbers that I could not understand. But the two of us will work on it, and we'll give you a report back on that. I know she is thrilled too. So thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Comments from the public? We have no public.
No.
Students are on break, so
Huh?
students are on fall break.
I
Oh,
guess-
that's why they weren't here today.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
I guess we're ready for a motion.
Move to go in executive session.
Executive session.
6-9A-4, Section 7.
A second.
Have a motion and a second to go in executive session. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we will move into executive session.
Move to go out of executive session.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, what I'd like to do at this time is to ask the commission to look at payment or assist with half the payment and looking at some legal counsel.
I would make that motion that we authorize the assessor to retain legal counsel and we'll pay half of
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
it.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned.